coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Boom, boom. Appreciate the support. 33, man. 33 years of prison stories, man. Count. We at 88,000, man. 88,000 subscribers. We 12,000 away from 100K, man. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Big love to TBP Nation. Big love to everybody who took the challenge and went out and got some other people to sub. I know that's what it had to be. Big love to everybody who been liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Let's get this thing moving. Let's get it where it need to be, man. This is 2024. This is our year, man. We're going to turn this thing all the way up as much as we can turn it up. I believe in the nation, man, and I believe we can do it, man. So peace and love. Let's go get them. Salute to everybody that's on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate you all. Big love to everybody who taps into that good old morning mud. Yeah, I love this thing, man. Big love to everybody who taps into that morning mud. Everybody who taps into 6 o'clock, man, who like, comment, share, and subscribe. Everybody who comes in the late night Twitch. Big love to each and every one of y'all. I appreciate you so much. Let's don't stop, man. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. We got a long ways to go. We got a bigger message to get out, and we got more people to get it to. So big love to each and every one of y'all, man, especially y'all that comes in on the membership, man. I appreciate you. I love you. All of y'all who participate in the raffle, everybody who participate in my Facebook posts or my Instagram posts or my TikTok posts. I definitely appreciate y'all, man. So let's get it. Let's go. 2024, that's our year, man. Let's make it happen. Man, today. I think this came out of the morning mud too. It was a comment. Came out of the morning mud. Somebody asked me about nightmares, man. Nightmares in prison. Yeah, they real. You know what I'm saying? They real. You know, be it that you have nightmares from, you know, regret about what you locked up for. Nightmares about what's going on the street. Nightmares about what's going to happen the next day in prison. Because prison is always unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So you have nightmares about that. You got dudes that literally see some violence break out in prison. I mean, see somebody get chopped down, get that Bethlehem put in them, you know, in the bad way, you know. And it terrifies them, man. It terrifies them. I know dudes who been in the block and seen that type of violence, and they couldn't sleep at night. And they wait 1 or 2 days or something, man, and they check in. You know, because they scared, they terrified, you know, because it's one thing to hear about what's going on in here, it's one thing to hear about what can happen in here. It's a totally different thing to see it and bring it to reality, and you know that this is possible. This is right here in your vicinity. This is real life. And a lot of dudes be thinking, what am I gonna do if I get caught up in this position? How can I? And they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. So a lot of dudes will check out. And it's real life stuff, man. It'll make you wonder. It'll make you think. If you ain't never been in no knife fight, you ain't never been on the business end of that Bethlehem, man, and you see it, oh, it'll terrify you. It's enough to give you nightmares, you know. And I've known dudes who've had cellies, man, they be bugged out. You don't know if something happened to them somewhere else or whatever the case may be. But I know dudes who literally, man, have woke up out of their sleep and just jumped up and went crazy in the cell because they thought that their cell partner was trying to do something to them. But little do they know their cellie was fully asleep too until you jumped up and woke them up. But that's just the paranoia that goes on with them. That's the paranoia that goes on with them. I mean, like, jump up out of their bed and go crazy and like, man, what you doing to me? What you trying to do to me? What you trying to do? And dude get up and be like, man, what are you talking about, man? You was touching me. You was touching. You know what I'm saying? That's the nightmares. That's the nightmares, and that's the anxiety. That's the pressure that you under. And the fear is coming out. It's coming out in your dreams. It's coming out in your reality because they got the rumbling up in that joint. Because dude had to protect himself because dude thinking that he was trying to do something to him. And he like, man, this is my word, man. You know, I ain't even into that. I ain't touched the dude or nothing. I'm going to sleep, man. He just jump up and go crazy. Go crazy. Now you got another charge because you got a fighting charge and you got a situation charge. And it's all crazy, man. But it ain't nothing you can do about it. Because regardless of what somebody else got going on, regardless of the demons that they dealing with, if they attacking you or want to do something to you, you still got to defend yourself. And then on top of that, you still got to be held accountable for defending yourself. So I tell y'all, what do I tell y'all prison is? Lose, 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 lose. That's all you're going to do. That's all you're going to do while you're in prison is just lose. You're not going to win or even get a W until you walk out the door. And that's your first win. When you go into prison, your first W is when you walk out. Everything else other than that is going to be L's. All losses. All losses. You know what I'm saying? All losses. All you can hope for is to survive in there. Because, man, it's just so much chaos, man. So much going on. And you got dudes that talk in their sleep and just toss and turn and they having nightmares and they get loud and they stop fighting and they sleep literally throwing punches. And dudes don't even want them dudes in the cell with them. But it ain't nothing you could do because if they put him in the cell with you, he in the cell with you. So you got to deal with this. You got to deal with this. You know, and then you got dudes that they so terrified and so paranoid that we call them firemen. You know, ready roll is a saying called ready roll. If you've been in the penitentiary, you know what ready roll mean. If you've been in the penitentiary, you know what fireman mean. That mean them dudes sleep ready to roll and like a fireman. They got all their clothes on. They got all their clothes on because they don't want to take their clothes off. I know dudes who put all their clothes on and keep their boots on and they just climb up on the bed and throw the blanket on them and that's how they sleep. Because they scared. They terrified. They had nightmares about somebody doing something to them. Then you got other dudes that's on the other end of that spectrum is saying, man, you ain't getting up on that top bunk, dog. If especially if they're on the top. You can't climb up on that top bunk, man, with them boots on, man. Because all of the dirt and dust and everything that come from you walking on the yard or walking around the park, that's eventually going to fall down on my bunk. That's eventually going to be in my bed. I'm brushing my bed off every day because all this dust because you up here with boots on. Because you scared. And you thinking somebody going to do something to you and ain't nobody trying to do nothing to you. But that's the paranoia. That's the paranoid in you. That's how you feel. Especially if you knew in prison the young dudes was all the way with it. You know what I'm saying? They sleep fireman. They don't even like to take showers. They ain't them little young jokers don't even want to get in the shower. They don't even want to wash their behind, man. For whatever reason. Most people assume because they're scared, but it's for whatever reason. We don't know what happened to them in their background. We don't know, what they heard. We don't know what's on their mind, but that's what most dudes would assume. They just scared. But a lot of them youngins, man, be walking around, man, stinking like a Lincoln. Stinking like a Lincoln because they don't want to get in the shower. They don't want to take care of their hygiene. And then they get problems with their celly because they up in the cell and they ain't bathing, man, and they ain't smelling right. They ain't smelling right, man. And that's a little small cell, you going to smell everything. So, it be like that, though, man. It's crazy. I told y'all about the dude on Powhatan, man. He was like a Spanish dude, and, man, he used to walk around. He wouldn't talk. He wouldn't say nothing to nobody. He would do nothing, man. He'd just walk around all slow and just be looking at people, and he'd just look at you real strange and wouldn't say nothing. And if you even just brush up against him, I'm telling you, if you brush up against him, just by accident, he gonna stare at where you brushed up against him at, and he's just gonna keep on looking at you. And he gonna follow you for the rest of the day until somebody else brush up into him. Then he gonna divert from him and start following him. It's crazy, and he wouldn't take a shower. The only person he would listen to was one female that worked the block, and she was the only one that could get him to go take a shower. And the only way she do that was they had to lock everybody else down when we go in for count, and then let him out and let him go take a shower. And she had to stand at the shower door to make sure that he take a shower, because he wouldn't take it without her, and he won't go in there with nobody else. Now, the rumor was that he had been taken advantage of when he first came in, and it psychologically messed him up. And now he don't talk to nobody. Now he won't take a shower by himself, or only by himself. And we just so happen to be on the compound where they got community showers. So he won't take a shower. His roommate complain about that he smell. His roommate complain about he don't talk. His roommate complain about he just sit there and stare, because it had a psychological effect on him. His roommate say he wake up in the middle of the night, man, from straight up out of sleeping, and just start swinging and going crazy. So something happened to him in his past, this making him have these nightmares, is making him feel the way he feel. But dudes in penitentiary, like I say, they don't care. They looking at you like you crazy. They looking at you like you got the problem. They looking at you like, stay away from me, man. And he walked around like that all day in the block. I'm telling you, he just walked around like a zombie, like. And that's all he did. And he was young. He was young. But a lot of dudes, man, once they get in there, man, and they young, and they never been to prison before, and all the things they heard, and all the things that people talked about, and they was out there on them streets, and they was popping them pistols and running around in gangs and acting like they was like that and acting like they was thorough. And you get in the penitentiary and you realize you ain't got no gun, and you realize that this a different world that we in, and you realize it's dangerous in here, and you realize when you get into an altercation, it's going to be mano a mano. It's going to be man to man. It's going to be Mortal Kombat. It's going to be physical. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to be no standing across the corner and shooting at nobody, and then everybody scared of you because they know you'll pop the pistol. Nah, it ain't none of that. When they get in there and they get that realization, man, they overwhelmed, dog. They overwhelmed. They can't sleep. They had nightmares when they go to sleep because they seen what happened on the yard yesterday. They seen what happened in the block yesterday. They heard what happened down in the other block last week. And the only thing they thinking in their mind is one day this gonna come knocking on my door. And it makes them have nightmares, man. They don't want to go to sleep. Especially when they get an old timer cellie, man, them young dudes don't want to be in the cell with an old timer because they go by all the old rumors and all the things they heard. And especially if it's an old timer with a real crazy reputation, them youngins don't want to go in the cell with them. They'll check in before they go in the cell with them. Because they're not going to feel comfortable sleeping around you because of what they heard. But the old-timer dudes that got them type of reputations on them, they like it because they don't want you in the cell anyway. And they want to be in the cell by themselves. They want to be in the cell by themselves. It ain't nothing like being in the cell by yourself, man. It ain't nothing like being in the cell by yourself, man. It's like you got your own little hut and you in there by yourself, and you ain't got to worry about moving around nobody. You ain't got to worry about nobody touching your stuff. You know where everything at because you put it there. So when you walk in your cell and you look around and you see something amiss, you know somebody been in your cell because ain't nobody supposed to be in there but you. But you. But I done had cellies like that, man. I done had cellies that mumble and talk in their sleep. And I remember when I first had one, I thought he was joking. I thought he was saying what he was saying just because he thought I was listening. But because his sentence was so coherent and clear that I'm like, man, ain't no way this joker sleep. But he just be there just tossing and turning like, no, man, I ain't no. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I ain't, no, man. No, I'm a fight, man. No. And I be like, what is going on? And it be real. It be real, man. Because prison is real. And then you in a reality now that you cannot escape. You can't get away from it. No matter how much you want to, you can't get away from it. So it started affecting your subconscious. So when you lay down to go to sleep, those things are in your brain. And they come out in your dream. They manifest themselves in your dreams, man. So, yeah, I used to have nightmares all the time, man. I used to feel like nightmares, man, like the walls was closing in on me. And this would be in my dreams. It's like they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I had crazy dreams, like big spiders was on the wall. So as the room was getting smaller and smaller, the spiders were starting to crawl and get closer and closer to my face. And then next thing you know, I'm in a little bubble like this, and I'm looking around, and then the spider is just like coming down on me. And I used to have that recurring dream all the time, man. All the time. Is, you know, I don't know. I just used to think about it and psychoanalyze it and say to myself, it was like some type of way I felt like it was subliminal, with like the walls is closing in on me, man, and I'm suffocating and I can't breathe. And it's like, you know, the spider represented, you know, drama coming at me. Drama coming at me, and I'm in a little bubble, and I can't move. I can't defend myself the way I want to. I used to have these crazy dreams, man. I used to have them, man. I did, man. It was real, and I had them for a long time. And I ain't gonna
man,
make up, but it just paranoid. And then you used to my paranoid. You always had a dream. Paranoid. When you've been locked up a minute, you always had a dream about when I get out. Oh man, how good it's gonna be when I get out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Man, I don't want to come here no more. Man, I can't live this type of life. Man, I'm going to get this type of job. Man, I work at McDonald's. Man, I dig ditches. Man, that's how bad dudes want to get out of prison. You could go in prison right now, and you got a dude that ain't been out in 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and you ask them or offer them any type of job, no matter what the labor is, no matter what the pay is, no matter what, you know, the work is, how hard it is, they're going to take it. They're going to take it. That's how bad it is up in that joint. That's how bad your spirits be. That's how bad your, you know, your momentum be. That's how bad your energy be. Cause you in a soul sucking place, man. You in a soul sucking place, man, and you just, yeah, man. Dreams and nightmares are real in prison, man. They real in prison, you know, real. I know dudes that done woke up from having nightmares, man, and break a razor blade and cut their own wrist. Cut their own wrist, dog. Trying to bleed out. And Sellers done woke up and like, man, what are you doing? And had to get out there and bang on the door and try to get help in there, and they just sitting in there bleeding out. Because they don't want to do it no more. Because in their nightmares, they say they suffered a vicious, you know, death, man. Stabbed to death. And they rather carry themselves out than to be in one of these incidents that they done seen that happen in prison. That can happen in prison, that they done actually seen with their own eyes. They can't fathom them being in that position. And they rather carry their own self out. You got dudes that had nightmares about people doing something to their family while they're on the street, while you helpless and you can't do nothing. It paralyzes you, man. It makes you feel like you less than a human being. And a lot of times that causes depression. That causes anxiety, and you can't deal with that on a day-to-day basis in prison and still stay safe, stay aware, stay alert to what's going on around you. You can't, because you got too much stuff going on that you thinking about that don't even apply to the penitentiary. You can't even be worried about the street. Sad as it sounds, you can't even be worried about the street when you're doing time. Because the more you worry about the street, the less you understand what's going on around you. And it's moving parts around you all day. It's moving parts around you all day. It's dudes plotting, planning, and strategizing all day, every day. While you worried about the streets and you not on the streets and you have no belief that make you understand that you're going to be on the streets in the immediate future. So why is you worrying about it? Why? Why is you letting it occupy your mind and your time and your space? Because it's not even relevant at the moment. It's not. And that's how I used to have to tell myself, man, I worry about going home. Only time I thought about going home when it came around time to go up for parole. And then, you know, when I knew the count for that, I'm back in penitentiary mode. Because I can't have my brain stuck out there on the street. Because it's only going to weaken me. And it's only going to make me vulnerable to whatever might come. You know, but like I say, I'm just like everybody else. I had many, many nightmares, man. I had nightmares that I was like 100 in the penitentiary. Like 100 years old, man, and everybody carrying me, and they push me around in a wheelchair, and I'm helpless, man. Dudes is talking to me greasy, handling me greasy, walking in the cell, take my stuff, and I can't do nothing. That's a nightmare to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably how Sam Pitts felt when he was getting older, because he was so much in control and so much in charge of everything in his universe that when he got older and he wasn't physically capable of imposing the things that he used to imposing on people, he had to feel miserable. He had to feel like that. That's what everybody say when Sam passed away. They said, man, Sam died of a broken heart, man. Because he was just so disappointed and so, you know, put aside with the way people treated him now, because he was so used to being treated with respect. He was so used to being treated with dignity. He was so used to being treated with fear that once nobody feared him no more, all the other things disappeared as well. And people started to talk to him the way they wanted because they looked at him like an old, sickly man that can't do nothing. Like they done forgot all the accolades and all the work he done put in prior to that to get to the stage where people would even be concerned themselves with who you are and why they care. But like I tell y'all, man, prison is unforgiving. It does not care about you, me, or nobody else, man. And that's just the way it goes, man. And a lot of people had nightmares in there, man. A lot of people cry a lot, man. They just don't tell you, man. Grown men cry in prison every night. Every night, grown men cry in prison. Of that, I can assure you. Of that, I can assure you, man. Because of the pressure that you under. And it's just hard to maintain, man. It's hard to maintain. It's very, very hard to maintain, man. So, yeah, man, but you got to be focused. You got to be locked in. You got to have an agenda. You got to believe when ain't nobody else believing. You got to hope when ain't nobody else hoping. You got to have understanding when don't nobody understand nothing that's going on in your world. All of that in order to survive in prison. In order to survive, man. So, yeah, man, but they definitely have nightmares in prison, man. You got dudes that had nightmares about, you know, the Illuminati. You got dudes that had nightmares about Masons and stuff. You got dudes that had, you know, nightmares about somebody trying to talk to their people on the street. All types of nightmares. Somebody trying to do something to them while they sleep. Somebody plotting on them when they sleep. Somebody plotting on them when they leave the cell. You got dudes in there that's extra paranoid. Extra paranoid. And that stuff seeps into their subconsciousness, so when they go to sleep is what they dream about. And sometimes, like I tell you all the time, sometimes a dream a nightmare, man. The dream is a nightmare, man. So, you know, yeah, man, but it definitely goes down in there with that type of stuff, man. And, yeah, I've had bouts with it myself. Maybe not as severe as most people, but I've definitely had long times when I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't think, I couldn't function because I was too worried about or going over in my mind what was going to happen the next day. What's going to happen when we go out on the yard? This happened today. Is this going down tomorrow? Did I know him? Am I affiliated with him? Is we cool? What? All of these things in a blink of an eye you got to understand and you got to accept and you got to think about. So, you know, yeah, it's chaotic in there, man. Very, very chaotic. But, you know, I survived, man. I believe I survived for a reason, not a season. I believe it was God's plan. And I'm just going to keep on pushing and keep on trying to bring y'all this message and this energy. And then if y'all don't need it, like I say, give it to your niece. Give it to your nephew. Give it to somebody who you know need it. Let them hear it, because that one word that they heard could be the one thing that changed the course of their life. One word, one sentence, one video. You never know. But you do know if you don't give it to them, then you already know what the business is. So, yeah, man. But anyway, y'all talk to me in the comments. I talk back. Big love, TBP Nation, man. We out here. We spreading that positive energy, man. We pushing P, man. Talk to me, man. I talk back. Like I said, it's a blessing in every lesson, man. And the blessing is, man, we giving out this information so that it will be received by most people before they are in a position that I was in. Before, that's what we shooting for. Not after they get in, but we trying to get them before they get in there, man. So y'all talk to me in the comments. I talk back. Y'all be safe.
The banky special, yeah, pure delicious, pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.